and welcome to ThePrint. This is Akanksha Mishra, and today we have a very special guest, filmmaker and writer Neeraj Ghaywan here with us. Thank you so much for being with us here.
Thank you for having me over.
So we're on the sidelines of the Synapse India Conclave, which is something that talks about tech and AI policy. Your session right now also spoke about that. And one of the main themes of your session was, the human voices and the personal experiences that are considered necessary in filmmaking, in creativity. So I just wanted to start off with a question that if it is a film made by AI, if it is a book written by AI, who do you think is the author? Do you think there exists an author in an age of AI filmmaking?
There's a whole saying, which also is a film by Anand Gandhi. It's called The Ship of Theseus. It says that if we replace all parts of a ship, would it still be the same ship? I feel it's the same thing, and it won't be, according to me, because, I'll give you an example of how, say, my life. My life is a sum of thousands and billions of experiences of my own ancestors, of how their intergenerational trauma is inherited in my gene, and how I behave, and how my sense of persecution that has developed into me as an artist, where I grew up in, what sort of my friends were there, what books I read, what films I watched, the places I traveled, the strangers I met. All of that goes into me eventually making a film like Homebound, say. Now, how will you ever train a machine of all my experiences? It would be observational, but that will still be 10%. What about how I feel? How will the machine learn that? And to put all of those experiences and then the intermingling of that, that I feel is impossible, because you can't train a machine to be empathetic.
So moving on, Mr. Ghaywan, in Hollywood and also in the Hindi film industry, recently there have been a lot of discussions about the need to protect personal rights and personality and likeness. I think, from Matthew McConaughey to even Anil Kapoor have both trademarked their voices and their likeness. Would you like to weigh in on this debate right now about where in AI your data is suddenly so important to you that for celebrities and actors, the need to protect their likeness becomes important?
Because I think everything revolves around consent. Because I feel if an actor is threatened by the fact that the machine can be taught to behave like this actor, and with AI, I think consent is not easy, because everybody has access. How will you train? How will you, so I think it's to each their own, I feel, but I feel maybe they're justified in feeling that way, that they want to protect their art.
Yeah.
I think they're not protecting, because this legacy that they built on and they created has taken a lot of time, a lot of toil, a lot of personal grief, all of that. And to have it be given to some machine to recreate it all is not legacy. It's theft of art, I feel. And I genuinely feel that, like I said, if an artist would want to have their legacy built on and they want to continue and they consent to it and they want to do it, it's choice. Then it is making sense to have that, like your voice or your persona or any of it. But I feel that everybody, because this is an intellectual property that you've created and it lives inside of you, so you are bound to protect it.
Moving on to another side of the AI debate, which comes from a more positive angle, is the idea of access. And this is not restricted to filmmaking, but to many fields, in fact. The fact that something like a ChatGPT or a large language model with immense amount of information and easy access does increase a common person's access to filmmaking tools, technical tools. So do you agree with that? Do you feel like AI can democratize filmmaking in a way?
100%. I mean, that could also lead to but in a very ethical way, if you use AI to say learn for yourself, like you put into ChatGPT any question about like how does a script is written, how would you go about it? But I feel that it's also like, what if you put in some base parameters of a story idea and you say write a screenplay for me? Now that is problematic.
Yeah.
Because it's building upon various other screenplays and all of that has come before it. So that would be unethical. But at the same time, there's this thought that I've been living with for a while. I see a lot of people who are not very good at English, and which is absolutely fine. But in their world, it is not fine, and that is also valid because they want to be expressing in good English. And I see many people expressing themselves via ChatGPT and putting out Facebook statuses and all of the Twitter statuses. So I feel that at least it gives them voice. But at the same time, I feel it's sort of also lazy that you do not. Some people who do have access to books, who do have access to grammar books and such, and they could learn and they could train themselves, but it's a shortcut. And maybe somebody who doesn't have access to AI will never get ahead because this person has access to AI and they're doing it.
Yeah.
So the language specifically feels like debatable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a ironic situation right now, I think, Marian, because it is good at the same time. Long term, the consequences will be difficult.
Pile up. One final question, and this is coming both as a fan of your filmmaking, but also it's a question that's often posed to people in the creative space. I, as a journalist, face it. I know authors face it. I know filmmakers face it. But when something like an AI or a ChatGPT comes, which can, as you said, write a screenplay in 20 minutes, less than that probably, write my news articles in 20 minutes. And somebody says, why don't you just let them do that? Why don't you just let it do it for you? Because it'll be so much easier that way. I wanted to ask you, as a director and a writer, how much of your film for you is about the final product? And how much of it is about the process of writing it, of creating it?
See, a while back I told you about how art is not empirical, it's not mathematical. It can't be subject to an equation of like, I collect an A from this one, I collect a B from this one, I collect a C from this one, and I put the mathematical equation to it and the output will always be the same. That's not what it is. Art is, A has multiple variables, B has multiple variables, and it is an endless thing, and the output is also variable. There's no right answer. And that's why it is human, because it is a sum of varied experiences. And I feel that the process of it is, and also in life, don't you think, like the pursuit to something is more beautiful than actually when you get to that destination because you don't know what to do there. And a while back there was a discussion about this filmmaker who was making a film, and this person has put in 10 years of their hard work into that film. There's another person who came on board and he said that he's also a filmmaker. That person said that maybe we can do it this way, maybe we can do it that way. And what I feel about this situation, this is a fictitious scenario, but I want to use that as an analogy to explain. Now, the intervention of the second filmmaker, who is, say, more qualified, who's artistically more clever, will definitely make a better film. But will it be that film that person dreamt of? That person envisioned for 10 years? It has got to mean something. Maybe it's imperfect, but that's the beauty of it, is that it honors the passion that this person put for 10 years. And that's how I see AI impact.
That was very well said, and I think that's a great note to end our conversation on. Thank you so much, Mr. Ghaywan.
Thank you.